Yeah, boy. Oop. Oh. Oops. Maybe I should change how things are done. Regis, what's up, my man? Sorry, man. That made me laugh. I said hi. What the fuck? I said hi. Say hi back. What's up, my man? I said hi. I love it. How's it going this evening with you? I got my music blasting because I gotta have my music. I'm downloading something called Face Masks, and I kind of want to check it out. Oh man, just listen to a screaming little baby, little tiny baby. Gotta burp her, man. That's my secret. Burp that baby. Burp that baby. That's literally the only advice I have for you, man. Burp that baby. And goat milk. For some reason, man, goat milk is like a miracle drug for babies. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was, but I'm not. I ain't kidding. I ain't kidding. I ain't kidding. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of pure bliss. Pure bliss. Dude, oh man, I'm going to tell you. Man. My voice is killing me. And oof. It is. It's been a rough day. I guess I could probably go into some detail for the sake of transparency. I was gonna save it for a little bit into the stream, but you know, it just my voice just isn't what it used to be. And this is actually kind of a recent development, to be honest. And I'll explain in just a minute. Did you just resubscribe, my man? Did you? Did something happen? I just got a little thing that says subscription tier 1. Is that a massive tier? How big is your tier? Yeah, my main man over here with a subscribe. Tier 1 subscription. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, sir. Boom, bam. Let's get back to this thing here. Want to talk about, what the hell's going on here? Shit. All right. Here we go. So, I want to talk about a little bit what's been going on. So, this isn't like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to be like a downer, Debbie Downer or anything like that, but there is a reason why my voice has increasingly gotten a little more distorted, a little more rattly. I guess I'm not really sure how to describe it more than that. And if you've been with me for a while, as far as the streams go, you know that I've been complaining about my throat a little bit. Maybe I haven't. I don't know, but I had a huge sore pain in my neck about I don't know, I'd say all of April. all of April. And so I was like, man, this thing's really bothering me, you know? And so I kind of just, you know, went through and felt around and stuff and kind of located the source, and I thought it was just a sore muscle, you know, and I went through and located the source, and then I felt around, and down below my voice box, right around where my this hormone developing gland is, the thyroid. There was a kind of a lump there. Not kind of, it was kind of a giant lump. It was a bubble, man. And I was like, wow, this is where it's sore, you know. So I thought it was like, my God, this is one hell of a knot, man, you know. And so I kind of ignored it, you know. I was just like, it'll go away, whatever. And then I was eating mashed potatoes one day. I had steak and mashed potatoes. You know how I like my mashed potatoes. It's always with steak. And I had a hard time I had trouble swallowing the mashed potatoes. Something so simple. And I was like, man, what the hell? You know, like it wouldn't go down. Like it felt like it lingered in my throat. So I was like, this is probably not a good sign, you know. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, no more jumping on the bed. No, I'm joking. Doctor said, let's take a look at the ultrasound, or let's do an ultrasound. So we did an ultrasound, and sure enough, man, they found a solid mass down up in there. And so it's about 3 centimeters or an inch, so golf ball size. Sorry, man, I had that one planned. And so they found like a thing there, and I was like, well, all right, that's great. Yeah, that's typical DEMA, you know. Fuck. So anyways, and so the doctor's like, well, what's going on? What have you noticed? And I said, well, my voice has got really deep. It's like I hit another puberty or something. She's like, yeah, it has, since last time she saw me. You know, usually it's not, my voice isn't high and squeaky, but it's definitely like got range. And one of the key factors was that I wasn't able to hit some of my notes anymore. And she's like, oh, okay, you're a singer, and that, you know, and that's the truth. I actually am a singer. You can buy my albums on my website if you want. No pressure. But anyways, so she's, you know, after the ultrasound, I went to a mage. No, I forgot what they're called, but it's for thyroid. And he took a biopsy of it. I stabbed it like 4 times, man. He stabbed my throat with a needle. It's called a fine needle aspiration. That's what it's called. Hurt like hell, even though I was tripping on Xanax. Never had Xanax. You know, it made me feel relaxed, but it doesn't dull the pain, man. He didn't dull any. He just like shoved it in there, man. Just like, fucking hurt. You know, and he's like, oh, we got to take a 4th one. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just take another one, man. Just take 5 or 6, you know, shit. So anyways, took a biopsy, waited 2 weeks. Yeah, I was just in my neck, just waiting there to be born, the bastard. Anyways, so I took that biopsy, sent it in. 2 weeks later, 1 week later, he calls me up and he's like, hey man, inconclusive. We don't know what this is. Kind of a thing. So we're going to send it in for genetic, more testing, genetic, fucking dicing. I don't even know what they call it. To be honest, I have no idea, but they sent it in for further stuff. It's mashed potatoes. That's what it is. It's just mashed potatoes. Well, anyways, they finally got back and they're like, well, we didn't find any. They didn't find any. Okay. So first off, tumors have many different names. Lipoma is typically what they're called. Lipomas. Now, a lot of that stuff is just fatty tissue. It's just fatty lumps. Lipomas, all lipomas are fatty lumps of some sort. Let's get that straight. And tumors are lipomas. Most lipomas, fatty tissues, are benign. They don't bother people. They don't do anything, and most of them don't hurt. So this one did. This one had extreme pain. It was pretty like, ugh. I thought I slept wrong or something, and my neck got tweaked, or somebody just fucking twisted it, or something happened. So anyway, he's like, well, this lipoma specifically, we didn't find any cancer-fighting cells in there. Now, typically, you have cancer-fighting cells that are trying to get rid of whatever is going on. And he's like, that's typical in a benign tumor. Typical in a benign lipoma is you find cancer-fighting cells. In a malignant tumor, you don't find those because in a malignant tumor, those cells get taken over. They get their own dose. They get attacked and converted into the nasty, the bad stuff. So he said, well, we didn't find anything indicating fighting off this thing. And so very high chance that it's malignant. But we won't know for sure until we take it out. And I'm like, all right, well, let's take this bastard out. Let's get it out of here. I don't want it in my throat. It's causing me all sorts of issues. I want to be able to swallow mashed potatoes and sing. And so yesterday was kind of a test. What is my range? How can, what's going on? And the test for my singing, my own little test, singing test, man, it's not looking so good, to be honest. Anyways, so I went to my surgeon, and he is feeling around up in there, and he's like, well, I'll be real honest, man. I don't feel a single thing. I don't feel any lumps at all. And I was like, yeah, that is odd. And he's like, I got your report. There's, the doctor's report. There's a solid mass. But here's the thing, solid masses, they don't go away, man. Not with a needle aspiration. They stick around. They stay there. Right? So the plot thickens all of a sudden, so to speak. Right? And so I'm like, all right, cool. This could be a good thing, right? He's like, well, not necessarily. Not necessarily a good thing. It could be that it was a cyst this whole time. And that all he did was drain the cyst. Now, he said, we're not going to... Well, if it wasn't mashed potatoes before, it is definitely now, because good God, he fucking mashed the shit out of it with that needle, man. So, anyways, he said, we're not going to do anything right now. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna cut you open. I'm not gonna look at your neck because there's some inconsistencies even in the report. He's like, do you remember where the lump was? And I'm like, I think it was the left side. Maybe it was the right side, but I think it was the left side. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting very inconsistent reports from the doctors as well. The initial doctor felt it on my left side, and the biopsy guy, he took a biopsy from my right side. And then the ultrasound, they took it from the left side. And then my thyroid uptake was on the right side. And so there's a lot of like flip-floppies going on. And they're like, he's like, I don't know which side, and he doesn't want to take the whole thyroid out because that would mean I'd be on hormone medicine for hormone pills essentially for the rest of my life, hormone supplemental pills. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, good thing. I don't know what, but the definite thing is that my hormone level has been really low. It's been really low. I could eat a potato, mashed potatoes, and gain 500 pounds. I get fat so fast, man. I become a lard ass in a matter of like a minute, man. And that's a thyroid thing. That's a hormone level thing. Before I get too far in here, is this painted on grass or what? And so what I figure is, well, there is a standard. There is a standard, to how doctors are supposed to perceive it, and they're supposed to perceive it from the patient's point of view. My left side, my right side. Right, exactly. So, I'm not too terribly worried about it, but here's some things that can happen, which I could lose my voice. That's probably the worst of it, is I could lose my voice. Best outcome is nothing happens, is they just remove it and I continue on with my life. Incidentally, this kind of cancer is very temperate. It's not deadly. It's it is deadly, but very, very few people actually die from it. No, it does not hurt. So what I believe it is, and what my surgeon believes it was he actually, what he did was drained a cyst that was right there, and it was blowing up, and it was just getting bigger and bigger. And he said it'll be back. If it was a cyst, it'll be back, and we'll know. And it's not a big deal. And and even if it's a cyst, it doesn't really matter because it could still be cancerous. So the trouble is with him is, he said what's going on is, one report says it's a solid mass. Another report, or from his just viewing it, it appears to be like more cystic than anything. And so he himself is kind of like, ugh, what is going on here? So he's gonna do more, and I like the surgeon a lot. He won't bullshit me. He has never bullshitted me, and I'm an old soul, man. I'm an old man, so I've had some surgeries that I will share maybe later on in my life with you guys. Is this what? Oh my God, I'm doing the wrong fucking thing. That's why. Guys, I'm trying to erase something that can't be erased because I'm on the wrong terrain. I've been just like talking and like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with this thing. Why can't I erase this grass? No, it's I wouldn't want that. Just because that's painful. Who really needs one anyways? An enlargement, that is, not a penis. Everybody, and not everybody needs a penis. I was about to say everybody needs a penis, maybe in a different form, but that's also not true. I don't know. Not everyone needs one. There. How about there? How about them apples? Okay, so at any rate, yeah, go get baby stuff. I'll be on for the next hour and a half here. So everyone needs a penis. Thanks for dropping in, man. I appreciate it. Always love your company. It's always good to hear from you. Woo, that is not what I wanted. That's not the effect I wanted. That is also not what I wanted to do. At any rate, let's get to this. Let's get to modding. My modders. What's up? Ooh, this is a good song. Whatever's going on right now, that's a good song. It's intense. Oh, I feel fine. I feel just fine. Don't you worry about me, man. But I did want to get that out there in case all of a sudden I am somehow gone. You guys know that I'm 6 feet under. All right. I'll let you know how to get a hold of me in the afterlife. All right. All right. All right, my man. Talk to you later. You have a good one. And goat milk and burping. That's what I recommend. Probably not at 2 weeks, but still something like that. You know, probably this one. Let's clamp down to like 6.2 on that. Because here's what happens with this grass is it's a really finicky bitch. Just like that. And I don't want too much too fast. And I just want it kind of going on the edge here. So it looks pretty good. So what I'll be doing is this transition area is kind of the area that people will be discovering first after, you know what, I guess not after. I don't want to say after, because they'll be kind of checking this area out even before they may want to go to the Pyramid of Shadows. The Pyramid of Shadows is should be the first quest, but not necessarily will be the first quest for people. Now, probably what I'll do is have like some sort of a disclaimer saying, hey man, it's going to be pretty rough if you continue forward, as it is intended for higher level adventurers. But I'm not sure if Argent will be a higher level type thing. This is more of a story thing here. Let me know if the music is too loud or too distracting. I could absolutely turn it off. And also, happy Wednesday, my bros. Happy Wednesday. At work, we had one of the sergeants retire after 21.5 years of service. And, man, retirement's depressing, dude. Nobody really gives a shit, and everybody that you're surrounded by, they're all gone. Or not everybody that you're surrounded by is all gone, but everybody you used to know, you know, that you worked with in the past, they're all gone. They're all doing something else. And so you got all these new people that hardly know you, you know, that are just there for the food or whatever. And you know, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to have some sort of retirement going away party. I'm not. That's not me, man. I just want to bow out and go on my way. Do my due diligence, and I'm out. I'm collecting that money. Let's do a blanket coverage here. Let's just do the whole thing, and we'll work on the rest when we work on the detail after we get this covered. Now I am using lava rock, I believe, as the terrain here. And let's see. Let's get rid of this so we have more of a screen to show. That's not it. Sidebar. Yeah, so I'm using lava rock as the base terrain on this transition thing, and the reason I chose that is so I could see the main difference. I might keep that. I might change it. I don't know yet. It looks all right so far. But I'll see how it acts later on, and not really acts, but just as far as from a decoration aspect, we'll see how it works. I mean, there's plenty of diversity in a mountain as far as the kind of dirt, rock, and all that stuff that you find. So maybe I'll do something with that, and you could always what is it? Use a different base, paint on different base. But what happens when you do that is it actually paints it in squares, large squares. So you have to be really careful about that. So if you do have an idea of what you want to do with the base terrains, just know that you'll need a transition it from a base to a regular material. So like I have grass right now, there is a base grass terrain that you could put on, and it'll blend in. You could use the grass to blend that in together, so it's not like, so it doesn't look silly, I guess. This is kind of a weird area, isn't it? Kind of a weird area, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of steep. So yeah, it's pretty noticeable. So let's get rid of that. Now, what stinks is this, you can't get circular material loading. So when you're putting down this material, you won't be able to, it's all kind of put on, and this is with mainly all engines. So you have your little brush that is a circle. I could always change it to a square, and I probably should for just so it's clear for everybody. Change it to a square, and right now I'm gonna up the the clamp a bit, and this is the craziest shit right here. Is I just bump it up to 6/7, and the difference 6/7 does or makes is massive. It's pretty massive clamp difference. There is a dude who has taught me well, and you could actually adjust how the clamp works and how what the sensitivity of it is and stuff like that. But having the square brush, you could see where it's going to be square, essentially how it lays it on. It does lay it on in square tiles. You could make it look kind of circular if you do some tricks, but for the most part, this material is laid on in square tiles. So you're gonna get these zigzags that you'll want to kind of work on, and it's hard to get rid of if improperly tiled. A way you could do that is covering it up with scenery, and we'll go through that. And I'm a huge fan of a walked path. Animals leave trails and paths and all sorts of stuff because that's what they use, and people do too. Say they have a well-worn path that they use, and so that's what we'll be doing as well. A path that's leading up to a place of business, another city, which I will not work on yet. This is the Argent is for my third major release. So, and I've kind of laid down some framework here. I've done some stuff here, but not very much compared to my other place. So this is all in the works. So this is my first major release, was the village and the pyramid that you find, and this whole big map here. That's my first release. This is going to be part of my second release, this transition area that I'm working on, which is this long, really long strip. Now it looks thin, but it's actually bigger than the first area. So take that. And this is mainly for side quest stuff before we get into another module, before I start working on the other module. So this is kind of on the fly things and just fun stuff that I want to put in here. I do have a partial story that I will have going on in here. It's kind of an ongoing story. And yeah, so that's what this area is kind of for, is for me to develop that as well. Yes, okay. I wish there was kind of a quick way to adjust the clamp, instead of not just the size, just also the clamp. That would be fantastic, instead of typing in numbers. Typical of clamp adjustments is you want to go from lowest settings to highest settings. So you want to transition from your lowest setting clamp to your highest setting. Like here I have a 0.65 going up to a 0.67, and that's the transition. That's a good transition. If it's a little too heavy on something, I'll go down to 0.6 just to fill these spaces in. And you'll see that it only does a little tiny bit. It's not It's not heavy on the growth, but it's also replacing any other clamps that are already down. So if I have a 0.67 down, well, too bad. It's gone, as you can see if I go back over it. But that's how you do clamp, is you could adjust. And this is what I mean by tile. This is, I think, the smallest you could get here, and it's there. There it is. It's just gonna tile it for you, which sucks. I wish it was a circle, but circles are kind of tough to measure and to work with. It's difficult to process circles, so they don't do that. So let's go back to 6-7, enter, or just click out. Some people like to put the strength down on this. I don't. I just work fast. Also, this part, the material terrain part, is almost I don't know how to explain this part as far as artistic value, because it's kind of like you're doing it a favor, sort of, by putting this down, but it works, to give your terrain a little bit more oomph. Now it also provides sound for wherever you're walking. So if I put something wet down here, it would be wet. And so so there's kind of more things going on here. If I had no grass on here, then you would hear the base terrain sound, which is rock. Create straight lines. See that? So you could use a circle brush, but you're still gonna be developing those tiles. See the tiles. It's still kind of hinky like that. I mean, it tries as hard as it can, but you're still gonna get square tiles. It's just square is for kind of beginners, so you understand how it works, and then you can move into other things. Prison, what's this? Nope, that's not what I want. I like to put a clamp on these rocks. The rock slate rubble, awesome. It is amazing. It's an amazing terrain. Use this because it actually looks good. Absolutely use this. They've really improved that part. And I put a clamp on it. I don't have anything at 100 usually. Oof. It's a good song. Persona Q, baby.
Life is giving us the chance to be a hero or a fiend. It's a choice, so let us try to make the best of what our fates have laid in our dreams. This carousel spins inside our minds. This labyrinth of life, you can't tell wrong from right. So much fun. Didn't see the cliff past the helping bend in a road. But hey, here we go. This carousel takes us high and high. The force of gravity, the river that a fire burning in your heart. Welcome to this white lace of light.
You have this issue all the time right here. If your clamp is too high.
We forget to ask where this magic takes.
Oof, I'm not really a fan of this. Let's turn that off. Kind of just realized what I wanted to listen to, and that is. Ooh, as soon as I find it, here it is. A Vimeo ad. Nope. Thanks. All right. There's something a little soothing. Something like Thomas Newman-esque, but not really. We're gonna have mud. We're gonna have water, right? Add some water up in here. Gotta have water. Standing water is really nice. It's got a nice effect, I think. Dial down the clamp. 7 is a little bit low. 7, 8 it. Yeah, it's a huge drastic difference all of a sudden. But I think it's at a good number. Don't be afraid to use decals as well. If something's missing, check out the decal section. You just throw in a decal, just one or two here and there. Is the terrain all jacked up over here? I think it is. That's all I did. Something's going on with this area here as far as the grass goes. It's kind of weird shadowing. Not particularly fond of that. Thin out the instant stuff. It'll help with overcrowding for one, and hopefully you can hear me more than the music, but it'll help with overcrowding, and it'll get rid of it'll save some, RAM, I guess, or loading speeds will kind of go up a little bit. You don't want to have too much of the same thing, right? Save time, baby. I think I'm almost at a good stopping point, actually. I've worked up the terrain a little bit. Now I need to get in there and get some more instance painting done, and maybe even arrange a new village, or part 2 of the village, the Goblin Village, up in here. And maybe even start placing actual enemies down and start storyboarding these guys' events and what will happen. I'm not too concerned about the middle here. All I care about is transition between the rock and the grass. One with the other. How they interact and how they play with each other is important. So that's what I've been doing, is kind of trying to blend in the shortfalls and the shortcomings of the engine itself. Of course, I could go in and make my own terrain, not only my terrain, but my own material. There are some knowledgeable modders in the actual Divinity Original Sin 2 channel who know their shit. Along with my channel as well. We're all awesome. If you are a beginner, I recommend watching some of my stuff first. There's also plenty of beginning tutorials out there, I think, and maybe that kind of go over stuff, kind of answer questions before you have them. I highly recommend watching those before you get on and start asking things. How do you paint on terrain? They won't necessarily laugh you out, but they will say something like, there's plenty of guides for that. Please watch those for the beginners. You could always follow along with me. Once you get the hang of all this stuff, it's incredibly intuitive and easy afterwards. So don't shy away from just buckling down and learning this side of things. Terrain is pretty simple, and it's easy to grasp. It's not too difficult. Remember that there is no straight lines in nature, and so your terrain should not be perfect. You should always strive for that imperfect look. Bumpy, hilly, weird is what I like to go with, and try to utilize all of your walking terrain stuff. So even though here I got a mountain, I try to utilize, instead of straight up and down, I try to go up and around, and then have other things as well. So up and around again, and maybe something over here, and try to utilize your space effectively here. I could have had you just go straight shot right into Argent, but I wanted to take you on a little quest beforehand. I wanted to, have you kind of explore a little bit before, and take you into a whole new area, and possibly even explore a huge other area that'll lead you on a whole different adventure as well. So when you're designing things, keep in mind that things will always change. There's the mod that you want to make, the mod that you plan to make, and then the mod that you actually make. They're going to be different. You know, there's going to be a lot of changes. So plan a lot. Plan a whole bunch, because you can go into this all willy-nilly if you'd like, but you're going to find yourself making a lot of changes in the future. And once you start putting down things like tents and crap, things become increasingly more difficult to change, especially after you decide that you want to rehaul some of the terrain stuff. Things become very difficult to rearrange and work with. So I recommend laying things out on paper or digitally, you know, but figure out a plan, have a plan going into this. Play around for a while. Play around in the game itself. The game teaches you a lot. And what I mean by that is, in the engine, load up the actual game. You can do that, and you could learn a lot from looking at how they did things. I haven't been beyond Fort Joy, and I always go back to Fort Joy and refer to some of the cool effects there. What else? But I think that's all I have. Oh man, I'm so tired. And again, earlier, sorry for getting on a soapbox, but I do feel like I needed to be more transparent with my audience on that, and I'll keep everybody updated. I honestly don't think it's too serious. But again, if I just disappear all of a sudden, you know, I think you guys deserve to know why and what's going on and all that stuff. It might not necessarily because I'm dead, but it is probably something to do with me being hospitalized or something to that effect. But the likelihood of that happening is, I think, slim to none, to be honest. At any rate, I'm going to save here and boogie out. I am getting tired. My neck is tired, and that's the other thing about all this is hypothyroidism makes you really freaking tired, and I've been exhausted just sitting here, exhausted. Crap on a stick. All right. Let me save, and I bid you guys farewell. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for chatting, Treegis. Thanks for the resub, man. I appreciate it. I wish you all farewell and your babies a healthy life. And I'll see you next time. Possibly even as soon as Friday. I know that's not typical of me, but I might be streaming Friday afternoon. I have an appointment to go to, and then after that, get my oil changed in my car, and then blamos. I might be on streaming here. All right. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you another time.